So a non-fungible token is a digital token that is attached to something called blockchain, right? And the blockchain is a digital ledger that spans across the world, kind of like the internet, right? Where it's involved in servers all over the place. And once something is attached to the blockchain with a certain code, it's sort of locked in place, right? So it can't be duplicated, can't be replicated. And the difference between an NFT and cryptocurrency is an NFT means non-fungible token. And that means that if something's fungible, that means that one item is the same as the next, right? So every penny is pretty much the same as the next penny. They're all worth 1 cent. The pennies are pennies, right? But an NFT, one item is not the same as the other. They all have a different code, so they can't be interchanged. And when you take those things that can't be interchanged and you attach things to them like artwork or imagery or audio or video, then you have an NFT that represents whatever that piece of media that you've attached to it is, right? So that's sort of the concept. And when you talk about trading and buying them, people say, well, what am I buying? What am I getting? What am I trading? You're not actually trading the asset that's attached to the NFT or buying the asset that's attached to the NFT. You're buying or trading the token itself, right? So if you spend the money to buy the token, you get it either on the platform, like Nifty Gateway has their own platform, right? And you can then, after you buy it, you can sell it, you can trade it, or you can keep it and see if it goes up in value. And these tokens are going to be attached to whatever the artist that is represented, in this case, Eminem, whatever they've decided to attach to these tokens, right? So the one thing, like Sway, when you and I were talking about it, the one thing we discussed is, when we came up as kids playing video games, we didn't have the same things that they do now, which are these in-app purchases, right? Where people get virtual goods. So, you've seen people playing Fortnite. When they play Fortnite, they buy skins, right? To be in the game, to play a character. So I want to buy a skin to be Iron Man in Fortnite. And they're okay with the concept of paying for something that's digital within the app or within the game, and they own it just in that virtual space, right? So this is broader. You're paying for something, you own it in a virtual space, but throughout the entire, internet or metaverse, right? You own this thing. And you don't have any physical control over it, or physical possession of it, but you have it in a sense that it's in your digital life, right? So these are collections for people in their digital life. And that's the best way that I can sort of describe it. And hopefully that makes sense. And if it doesn't, then, there's more ways for you to understand it. But that's how, when you buy a print of an artwork, right? An artist makes a painting and they make prints of that painting. They aren't actual originals, but they're a copy of that original. And you buy the print and you hang it on your wall. This is similar to that, except it's a digital print. So whatever the piece of art is, you're buying a digital print of it. You don't have physical possession, but you have digital possession of that print. And that can't be copied, it can't be replicated, because it's attached to that specific sequence on the blockchain, and it's authentic and numbered, and can't be replicated or anything like that. Yeah, so it starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, and there's a few different drops, and we haven't released all the details of them yet. But there's going to be an open edition, which means that you, for a set period of time, I think it's going to be for 10 minutes, you can buy as many of this particular NFT as you want, right? So that's an open edition. Then there's going to be an edition that is for a longer period of time, where they're a limited quantity, right? Open edition means as many people buy that particular NFT during that time period, they will mint as many as are purchased, right? Then there's going to be limited items, which for a set period of time you can buy, but once they're gone, right? So there's a limited amount, and those can be purchased for that period of time. And then there's going to be also a one of one, which is going to be auctioned. And sky's the limit for what that's going to going to reach, and we're going to give a portion of that particular item to the Marshall Mathers Foundation as well. So there's going to be a charitable component to this. But you know, we worked hard to try to create something that really spoke to Marshall and who he is and his sort of persona as an artist. Because you know, a lot of times people just come into this and they hook up with an artist and they put out a piece of art and it doesn't really speak to who the person is. Like if Marshall would have put out some sort of abstract painting, people would be like, what the hell is that? Like it doesn't really connect to who he is. So we came up with this concept, and the drop is called Shady Con. And much like people in the real world go to these conventions like Comic-Con or, you know, Star Trek Con or whatever sort of thing people are fans of or have a hobby surrounding, and they gather and sort of trade their wares and their collectibles. So we created a digital version of that, and this is called Shady Con. And the inspiration for the actual NFTs that are available are, you know, Marshall's interest in what he personally collects, right? So he's a comic book fan, and dare I say, a comic book geek, and he's been collecting comic books since he was a kid. But he also collects vintage toys, and he also obviously is a producer and makes beats. So we tied all that stuff together for the drop, and we've teased out part of it. And the open editions are these action figures. So there's a Slim Shady, an Eminem, and a Marshall Mathers action figure, and those are the open editions. But then we're also going to have, and I guess this will be an exclusive, one of the numbered sets, we're calling it a pack, is trading cards, right? So there's going to be a set of 6 trading cards that are available in a numbered limited quantity as well. And then beyond the packs, we have 2 limited editions, which are statuettes that are sort of 3D art renderings, and they have an original beat produced by Marshall for this drop attached to them, and those are in a limited quantity. Wow. And then the one of one is going to be a custom created video with the beat is only attached to this NFT, this one of one. So there's a separate beat attached to the one of one NFT. And there's going to be giveaways with that too, which we'll be announcing probably later.